Isn't my good? Grab onto my strong hand.
Well, welcome everyone to another episode of the Forge of Brains podcast. Today we have some special guests. We have Patrick and Mckenzie Dutton. I've known Patrick for a few years now, since ever since I kind of started competing, and then I got to know Mckenzie just a few years ago, kind of when she went on the scene of competing, and yeah, so now we get to talk to these guys and hear their story.
So we screwed up last night and we just had bad audio. It was just really choppy and all over this place. And so we're going to go ahead and just ask them some questions that we already kind of asked before and last night. But hopefully, just you want to dive into deeper than you did last night about it, of kind of, Patrick, how you got started, like what were you doing in life that kind of led you to shoeing horses?
Well, I was just back home in a little town in south central Kansas, just doing cowboy stuff, not making any money. And so shoeing horses sounded like a good way to make some extra money. So probably saw the ad in the back of a Super Looper magazine or something like that. Go to Oklahoma State Horseshoeing School. So that's what I did.
Do they really have ads in there?
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. They got a lot of rodeo kids.
Well, actually, I remember when I was in high school, I did high school rodeo and stuff. My good friend, he would show me an ad for the one in Purcell. He's like, dude, we should go to horseshoeing school here in Purcell. And at the time, I had no interest in shoeing horses at all. And he was just wanting a friend to go with him. But yeah, I remember seeing some ads like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they advertise in like Western Horseman and just everywhere.
So
I don't think I've ever seen that. I've ever been to that school or anything. Is it like
it's
a
all
pretty
right.
nice campus?
No, it's not.
It's no 5-star.
I thought it was good.
Really?
Yeah.
Which school?
Oh, Purcell?
The one in Purcell.
No, the one in Purcell is not worth visiting.
It's pretty janky.
Yeah. Ardmore
Yeah,
is good.
Because did you guys? So Mckenzie, you went to Oklahoma Horseshoeing School as well.
Oklahoma State, yeah, in Ardmore.
There's Oklahoma, and then there's Oklahoma State Horseshoeing School.
Okay, that's confusing.
Both
they're different. Well, now they're owned by the same person, but at the time they were different operations.
Yeah.
And they're both in Ardmore?
One's in Purcell, Oklahoma Horseshoeing School.
Yeah.
That Jack Roth owns is in Purcell, and Oklahoma State is in Ardmore.
Kester's.
Kester's ran that
forever.
But Jack owns it now.
Okay.
So the school, the Mckenzie you went to, then, like, it was pretty nice. Like, it was a good place, or?
I liked it. I thought so, but my class was really small. There was only 11 of us. And so we got under a pile of horses. Like, for a 6-week course, it was I thought it was good. Enough for you to be dangerous, but they told you to go, like, work for somebody afterwards, right? So
yeah,
that's
the hope.
Yeah, that was something you talked about last night, how you said, they influenced you to try to apprentice with somebody afterwards and go get in a truck with somebody. And,
it was basically long enough to know whether or not you wanted to take it seriously, I guess.
Yeah, because you went to college for something completely different. Like, because didn't you say your parents wanted you to go off and get a real education? Huh?
Yeah. I have a Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science.
So crazy.
And an honors thesis with it. So yeah.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
I would never have expected you to say you have a 4-year degree, and I don't even remember how you said it again.
Not that we're like saying that you're not smart.
Yeah,
but
thanks, Gavine. I didn't think you could do it.
Well, but it's like, it's pretty funny. Like, do you think that helped you in any way, though, of understanding horses?
Yeah, the anatomy class for sure. Because human anatomy is quite similar to the lower leg, like your finger or whatever, right? So yeah, and then all the terminology, and honestly, because I was going to go the physical therapy route, it's kind of helped me look after myself better, I think.
I bet it
Because it
does.
is a physical job. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
feel like hopefully it's going to prolong my career just because I know a little bit about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I bet
But
that's huge
yeah.
because that it's like I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. You see the guys that are complaining about their back hurting,
Hmm.
and usually they kind of have a pretty big belly.
Yeah. Yeah. That too. Yeah. And they don't do anything other than bend over and shoe horses or sit in the
Oh,
recliner or whatever, right? Like it's all the same. You gotta
Well,
do
my
so
something
back.
other than bend over.
did you notice that in school, like right away? You're like this is gonna be hard on me, and like already kind of started like this is what I probably need to start doing some things to prevent getting
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always kind of been into the whole like fitness and like I've been real active. So
Do you have any influence on Patrick's health?
I try
I'm
to.
pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
Because you probably come from a completely different world. I come from a little bit of a team roper world where it's like we were eating Chef Boyardee
Oh
cold.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
not drinking water did not
yeah,
exist.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's I'm ashamed to say how many cold cans of Chef Boyardee I've eaten in my life. It's a lot.
It is not very good for you.
No,
I think you
no.
definitely eat some more green stuff now.
Yeah, we eat pretty good now, but yeah,
The touch of a woman, I guess.
yeah, it's added some years to my life.
I mean, I noticed my diet improving once I met Ashley and have a girlfriend now too. So it's
There
all
you go.
good.
Good for you.
My worst habit is still like Chelsea tries to like get on me after it all the time is that I just don't want to eat all day. I
Yeah.
just want to eat a
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
not very good for you usually.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
When on the days I get to stay home with Rowan, I probably don't drink any water. Like I just drink coffee all day long.
this is news to Mackenzie, right? She's looking over. It's like I did not know this.
Yeah.
He
Usually
wouldn't eat if you went when he went to work if I didn't pack his
I
lunch for
wouldn't. I
him.
would if
So
I wouldn't. I would hope that I ran out of fuel, so I have to stop and I would grab some food. But
Yeah.
if I'm not
I'm so
if I'm not stopping for gas, I'm also not eating.
Because
guilty of that.
you shoot quite a bit of horses, huh?
I had a problem for a little while. Yeah, I
I
Has
remember
that
you telling me
changed then?
that.
yeah, it's different. I don't do like I'm like such a psycho now. I don't do that many horses now, but it
You're
started to
not
hurt.
such a psycho?
Yeah,
Yeah, because when I first met you, it was like you like when you talk at a contest or so, like after like pre Mckenzie, you would have done like a ton of horses pre contest, and after like you were just like piling them in there
oh yeah,
nonstop,
yeah,
shoeing like in the night type
yeah,
deal.
yeah, yeah. I thought I was pretty cool.
And
So
Is
putting a
when
that
lot
why
of
I
you were
miles
doing it?
Oh no, I just
putting a lot of
didn't.
miles on too.
Yeah, I wore out 2 vans pretty fast. Uh, no, I just didn't have anything else to do. That's all I wanted to do. Like it was just kind of an ego thing, I think. Just I got 2 more hours of daylight. I can get so many more horses in before I have to quit. Like yeah, just being dumb.
That is psycho.
Yeah, yeah, and it
I
started
never
to hurt after a while, so I had to
I bet.
quit
I
that
never would
nonsense.
have
What
thought that way.
was it, Mackenzie, to change that, or just like you're straight up your body wasn't going to do it
he
anymore?
came home from work one day and couldn't like crawled in the door and literally couldn't get up.
Yeah,
Really?
that
So
was
Yeah.
a couple of those.
yeah.
Couple of those episodes, and I was like, maybe I should only shoot like a manageable number per day.
What is your idea of a manageable number now compared to what it was?
Like five. Like five's pretty. Five's
How
about
many
right.
were you doing?
Oh, a lot.
What's a
don't
lot?
know.
Like a 10 a day?
Probably close to that, yeah.
Jeez.
That adds a bunch to it. Just like that, like just going 5 to 10 is a big difference by
It's a big deal,
yourself.
yeah. It used to be like, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. It's like, how many can I get done in
Yeah.
this amount of time? It's like, I can do it. I'm no sissy. I can get these done.
Especially when the money, you're starting to make a
Yeah.
decent money, especially
Yep.
coming off the team roping or whatever attitude where you're like, oh, I just want to take up shoeing horses to make a little bit more money. And then all of a sudden you're starting to make quite a bit of money. So you're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to make some
Yeah.
more.
First time you ever have any money in your life, and you're just like,
I want some more.
I like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember
So
having
you,
that same mentality fresh out of school,
oh,
try and do as many as possible.
Oh yeah.
it makes you look back at school and you're like, I was doing all those. I was paying to do those.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you got out of school and you started apprenticing with Brian Barrett. You found him through AFA and Johnson type
Yep.
deal, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Did Brian shoe a bunch of horses like that too?
No, we shot a bunch of horses, but it was definitely less numbers. He would probably the biggest takeaway I have from working for Brian is that guy does not cut any corners anywhere. And
Oh, really?
if it took 3 hours to shoe a horse, that's what it took.
Wow.
Like we weren't gonna slop anything ever.
So, like, what was your role in that? Were you just like pulling and clinching and stuff, or would he let you get hands on with it as
I
well?
mean, it started out just sweeping the floor. I remember the first day I would guess full time for Brian. We did a horse that had severed his deep flexor, and we mistakenly put on the patent bar before the heart bar.
Okay.
So we didn't really think that through. I didn't know anything at the time, so I was like, "This is awesome." He's putting these
So you
crazy
put on
shoes on.
the patent bar before the heart bar, is that what you said?
Yeah. So the foot that had severed the flexor was in a Mckenzie splint,
Okay.
and we should have put the heart bar on the opposite foot first, but
Oh, on the
he didn't.
opposite foot.
Yeah, the
Uh-huh.
support foot. And we put the patent bar on first, and then we're like, oh shit, how are we gonna get this heart bar on? Because he can't stand on
Yeah.
the other leg. So we had
Yeah.
the vet had to knock him out, and we rolled him over, and I held
On his side.
on his back, and I held that foot while he nailed on the heart bar on the opposite foot, and I was like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty
What a
wild.
first day.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts, and it was like it was quite late in the day too, like it was in the evening. So I was like, damn, this guy's serious. So
What was your thoughts like? Were you more excited about shoeing horses after seeing something like that, or were you
Oh
like
yeah, I
kind
was
of like
all
in
in at
shock?
that
Like,
point. I was like, this is
yeah.
awesome. We're doing cool shit.
Did he do a bunch of interesting cases like that?
Yeah, that
Like,
was probably about half, maybe not quite half, but a lot of his business was working with the vet. We were at the vet quite often, doing interesting
Okay.
stuff.
See, I don't know Brian Barrett. You said right, or
Yep.
Barnett?
Barrett.
Does he? Did he do like a lot of handmaids or anything like
Yeah.
that? Like,
Yeah, I did
what
quite a
you said,
few.
like a heart bar. Or,
Yep. Yeah, he
so is
made
that
quite
kind
a
of
few
what?
specialty stuff. He's been an examiner for a long time. He's also AW.
Okay.
nice.
So yeah, he was super into it. Now he's just got his realtor license, so he's selling houses on the side, I think. And I don't think he'll ever quit shoeing horses, but
But he's smart.
Oh
Yeah.
He's
extremely
making
intelligent.
money.
Yeah,
That's some of the smartest horseshoers I've met, I
Yeah.
think, personally,
Yeah.
are the ones that are making money and things that are also not horseshoeing.
yeah,
Starting a
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Starting a podcast.
Yeah. His brother
Don't
is
put all your eggs in
also
this basket.
Definitely not, but yeah.
his brother's also a journeyman and a vet in
His
Florida,
brother?
somewhere in Florida. Yeah.
Really? So his brother is, oh man, I'm pretty
Brent.
sure I know his. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Right.
big tall guy.
No, he's not tall, but I mean, they're both a little bit
Really
big, but
Yeah.
taller than me. I mean, I guess I'm a pretty short guy though.
no, you're taller than me. Yeah, he might be your height.
Oh, man, I might not be thinking of the right guy, but I'm pretty sure I am thinking of Brent. Yeah, is Brent Barrett, and like
Yeah.
he's a pretty good horseshoer
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah, but they do like
no,
crazy shit.
like
'Cause
as a
he's in Florida?
brothers, like they do, or just in Florida
Just
they do.
just in Florida. Brian did fly down there every now and again for a little while, I think, but I don't know if he's doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they
No,
like work
Florida
on the
is a very
crazy.
wild place.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
That
working
is
with
that's the most like side note down like that's the most awkward clinic. Not awkward. Like the people at the clinic were cool, but like afterwards we were running around swamps and stuff chasing armadillos. It was and it was like we were out looking for gators and like this like pond, and we're like wandering around in this pond, and the guy that I was with, like we're with like a group of guys and it's the middle of the night. We're out there and he tells me, he's like, we see some headlights coming that way, and he's like, hey, just to let you know, we're not supposed to be out here. Those headlights, he's like, if those headlights keep coming, it's every man for himself, I'm gonna turn the lights off. And I was thinking, I'm like, dude, I am like a
What if
Forest,
you
Oregon
found like
boy. That's the whole thing. We were looking for gators. He's like, there's a good chance they're out here. It's like,
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Thankfully, the car did not come that way. It went the other way. But like,
Then gator bait.
Yeah.
they're different people down there. There's a
So
different crowd.
did you get a did you guys get to shoot a gator?
No, we did not
No?
get a gator. I missed an armadillo multiple times. It
Oh,
Who's
was
man.
fast?
it was all around. Yeah, it was all around a learning experience. All around.
All aspects of life.
I was the clinician, and I took home probably more than they did out of the whole deal.
That's why they call him Florida man now, you know?
Oh man.
It's like they're a whole new breed of people, Florida man.
Oh, if you hear of any crazy like news story happen ever, it's
Florida
probably
man.
from
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
So was Brian Barrett, was he from Florida originally, or was he from Kansas?
I think they're from Kansas originally, right close to where
Okay.
they live now. Oskaloosa, I think, is where they're from.
So,
Up there
like,
by
seeing
Kansas City.
him, like, build, like, handmaids for horses or whatever in special cases, did that, like, pique your interest on wanting to, you know, start building your own shoes and, you know, kind
Yeah,
of get into competing, or?
yeah, yeah. Him being an examiner and stuff, he pushed the certification thing pretty hard. So we worked on that constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So it
good.
kind of just dove you into it, or, you know, got you started with it, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Was he pretty open in like his practice to have you making shoes for his horses?
It took a while to get to that point. Like I would, it started out slow, like just sweeping the floor, and then just pulling shoes and like cleaning them up or whatever, and then it got, just progressed slowly to just doing a little bit of knife work, and then to nailing shoes on. He would fit them, I'd nail them on, and then I was pulling clips for him, and then it kind of got to where we were just basically shoeing horses side by side, and then that was time to go home after that. But
Is that pretty much like you guys got to a point where he was like, was it you or him that was like, all right,
it was him.
was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Kicked you out of the nest.
Yeah. Which it needed to happen at that point. So
Punk ass kid.
yep.
Was it at that point though? Were you already doing a bunch of horses on your own?
Nope. I didn't have anything. He lives 4 hours away from where I lived, so I lived in
Did
his
you, like,
basement.
live with it? Oh, okay. I thought you were making
Yep.
that drive every day. Like,
No.
holy shit. God
No, I
damn.
lived
He wanted his basement back.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just I was just ended up like lounging around and stuff, and he got pretty sick of me just being around all the time, I think. So he's like, "You need to go home." I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
And then you went home and you're like, well, I guess I have nothing to do. I'm going to shoot horses
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah, I started just going around and trying to get the name out there, and yeah,
Did that happen pretty quick, or did you have a pretty like lull time of trying to gain clients?
it was pretty fast, really. Like, so I started going around like the Wichita area, and there wasn't that many guys around there that weren't just cold shooters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so like at the same time I moved back home. That makes Dusty's place only like 3 hours away. So I would go down there all the time. And that's where I really learned like fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I worked
Fitting feet.
for Brian, I didn't fit any feet really. I would prep, and then he would fit. I'd nail on a finish, and we
Yeah.
like you get that in that kind of a what's the word I'm trying to say? A rhythm.
Rhythm or
You can really shoot a lot of horses real fast and do a good job. But I didn't really learn fitting there. I learned everything else.
You're like paying, like even though you're nailing it on, you're not like fully paying attention to how everything's fit or getting you into this
just
trials
how
and
to
struggles
do it.
yourself.
Yeah, you know what good fit is, right?
Yeah,
you
know
just
what it
don't know
is,
how to
don't
get
know
it.
how to do it. Like
That's it's a huge thing of like being able to, like anybody can, like even clients can look at the foot and be like, that's fit like crap or not fit like crap. But it's like you couldn't handle the tongs and then go accomplish it.
Surely they can tell you how it's supposed to be, but they can't do it. Yeah.
But it was probably almost nice that you learned quite a bit with Brian away from home.
Yeah.
And then got to go back home not screwing a bunch of stuff up.
Yeah. And working
because
for
you
Brian,
probably
like,
already probably knew horse people at home already. Like you already had a little bit of a name there.
Yeah. Well, where I lived and where I ended up having most of my business is about an hour and a half drive. So it gave a little bit of separation there, but where I could be at home and kind of figure some stuff out, you know, and not worry about like this is where my actual business is going to be. It's like I'll go through some trials over here.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe wreck some shit and then go over here.
You're not totally discriminating your name like where you be at your home base, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and just like, man, I don't know about you guys, but like I grew up in that area of like roping and stuff in that area as a young teenage boy. You aren't very nice to your horses sometimes.
Yeah, they're. It's like if we didn't win any money,
that's
your
how
horse
people
wasn't
kind of know
eating.
that. Yeah, and it's like, and that's just like kind of how people like. And I was always riding piles of crap, so it's like sometimes they needed a whipping, and so like that's what people remembered you of. It was like you're like all of a sudden you hang your hat as a horseshoer, and they're like that kid gets after him sometimes.
Earning a bad reputation, yeah.
So then on top of that, like some people do try you as like being their horseshoer, and I was fresh out of school and was horrible. And so it's like that ruins your name's in the dumps in your hometown pretty fast.
But I think a good thing coming out of that working for Brian is like at least I had a standard of what I wanted my work to be like. Like I knew what good work looked like. So I had a good, like a quite high standard of what I wanted my shoeing to be like. But
you knew where to shoot.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like once I kind of figured out the fitting thing a little, where I could at least, because when you're on your own, like, and you roll up to a stop your first time, and you're like, this has to happen.
Are we really gonna do this right now?
We can't get halfway through this and quit. Like we gotta pull this off.
Yeah, there's not another guy. There's not another guy to be like, oh, it's okay, I'll shape the shoes, bro.
It's like
this has to don't fuck up.
This has to happen, and you kind of gotta look like you at least somewhat know what you're doing. Like,
try not to struggle too much or show that you're struggling. Yeah, I've been there before.
Oh,
yeah, I apprenticed for probably about the same length of time as that you did, Patrick, for like 4 years or so. So it's like you also get pretty comfortable in the apprentice role where
Oh
you're
yeah,
like,
you get good at it.
ain't my show. I'm just kind of hanging
Yeah.
out. Like you're
Yeah.
not even talking to the clients anymore. You're just like, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's not your responsibility. But then when you do show up at your first client, you kind of feel like a little kid dressed up almost. You're like, I'm here for
Imposter
career
syndrome.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. That is the word.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
it is real at that point.
Yeah.
Who did you apprentice for, Riley?
I apprenticed for like several different guys, so it's like anybody would probably really know. It's a guy named Sean Robertson, and I knew him from when I was a young kid. He was a team roper too, and I hung out with his father-in-law a lot. So he influenced me to go to Heartland Horseshoe School and everything.
Cool.
Like, so that was a good. He sent me off to a good school, and then I came home and rode with him, and he did like a bunch of cold shoeing, but we did a bunch of horses, and I grew up around horses already, but it is a different type of horsemanship of being on top of them and then shoeing them. Like I'm
yeah.
sure as
Yeah.
both you guys know. And so he did teach me a ton of horsemanship, how to get by horses that weren't good.
Super important.
Yep. And then I rode with some long-footed shoers,
Oh, cool.
and we did a bunch of Arabs. And so that really helped me a lot they did a lot of forging because all those horses pretty much have to have their shoes forged. And I learned a lot about like biomechanics and movement.
That's cool.
But it
Is
did
that
let
part
me
of the
just kind of
reason?
like hang out.
Is that part of the reason why like you like making toe weighted type shoes, like for table shoes or whatever?
Oh,
Do you think
yeah,
that might
for
have
sure.
some influence on that?
Yeah, and it's like it's
And it
American.
looks cool.
Yeah, it's ours, man. Like the toe weights are ours. They're nobody else's. Like all the rest of the horseshoes, they're like roadsters and stuff like that. They're so English, and it's like that's good for them, but like let's throw some of ours out there.
Toe weights. Well, we've been
Exactly.
talking a lot about Patrick. What happened with you, Mckenzie, once you got out of shoeing school? Who did you get to go work with or apprentice with?
I went home for a couple months and realized I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I called my instructor for an apprenticeship or to see if he knew of anybody in my area. And he got me hooked up with Mark Milster. So I moved back to Oklahoma and I worked for him for 6 years. And
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And
So.
for anybody who's been living under a rock, Mark Milster is like one of our best horseshoers in America, right?
Legend.
Like
Yeah.
he is legendary status on tool making and just horseshoeing in general. The guy is
He's very good at what he does. Yeah.
So
probably the
you must have
winningest
done pretty good in
horseshoer in the
school.
world.
I did do pretty good in school. I mean, tallest midget kind of thing, right? But yeah, any chance I got, like on the weekends, I would go out with the instructors and do their help them with their personal horses or just ride along, right? And do that kind of stuff. And then I did score the highest score on my horse. So, but yeah, so I guess
Like
I think I did.
shoeing
because
school?
you had to do pretty good because like the instructor obviously knew who Mark was, and he wasn't going to recommend
No, he had worked
somebody
for
that he
Mark.
thought was going to slunch.
Yeah, he had worked like with Mark like the odd day here and there. And so I guess when he called Mark to tell him that he had somebody lined up, he said, "There's only one thing, but just hear me out." And he's like, "She's a girl." And I guess right off the bat, Mark said, "No way." So,
oh, really?
Yeah. And so, but
he
then
was a little reluctant at first, or
yeah, he said no at first, and then but I guess I don't know. Ty talked him into it, so he said he'd give me a try, and yeah.
Did you have
didn't
any
even
idea?
meet him beforehand?
I had never met him. No.
So you had no idea who he was?
I knew who he was. Kind of. I just heard Ty talk about him, but I didn't really know. Yeah, I didn't know what he had done or accomplished.
Hall of Famer, world champion guy.
So yeah, it was really intimidating. Yeah. So
How was it
Um,
showing up for your first day with him? Pretty intimidating, like you said, or
yeah, I was intimidated, but he was really good. He was really welcoming at first, and it's kind of the opposite of Patrick. Like I was way more reluctant to just dive in there and want to do stuff. So I was perfectly happy just sweeping the floors for this guy and finishing and all that stuff. But he was really good about like pushing me and being like, no, you can do this. Like trim these, and like he'd push me out of my comfort zone there. So,
mm-hmm.
but I think because he is who he is why I was a little bit, reluctant. But yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I think
everything I
probably
know
for him,
is from him.
like he's been a clinician too, like
Hmm.
quite a bit. And so for having somebody just new come in for his, like, it's probably not going to be that big a deal for him because he's used to just teaching anybody at any skill level, you know?
Yeah.
And it's probably weird. It's like you were figuring out who he was while you were working for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like as you're going, you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Like kind of realizing the seat you're sitting in.
Yeah. Yeah. Felt like big shoes to fill. So,
Oh, huge. Like, so what was an average like work day with Mark? Like how was it, like how was he pushing practices on you and stuff like that?
um, right off the bat, because I was straight out of shoeing school, it was mostly just horses. Like we just shod horses, and we did a pile of them when I first started for him. And then he got or wanted me to do like the certification and stuff. So I did all that and got my journeyman. And then after that, or I might have done a couple of contests before I got my
Yeah,
journeyman.
I think he did the
But
Oklahoma.
yeah, the Oklahoma contest was my first one, I guess, after I got here. And yeah, once I got, I guess, handier under the horses, then that's when he started pushing me in the shop more.
Was that
So
Oklahoma contest? Did you and Mark do the draft class together?
no, no, we haven't. The only time we've done the draft is at convention,
For,
Oh, nice.
I think, or no, and then we did it at Arkansas, the three of
yeah,
us.
we did Arkansas.
Yeah. So
I was trying to
Oh,
think
you
who we
guys
did
did
it
like
with that
you guys
year.
did a 3-man or
yeah,
nice.
Frizzy and
at Oklahoma. I don't think he did it the year I competed.
no, maybe not.
So at Ardmore, the shoeing school there, did it do much like shoe building or shoemaking or anything like that, or was it more of a cold banging school? Or
On the horses, it was more cold banging, but
yeah,
we did learn like we made shoes and you had to make egg bars and all that kind of stuff. And
All out
then
of 1/4 by 3/4.
yeah, you basically got. Well, we
Yeah.
used to do
Sweet.
5/16,
No,
but
no, I don't know when I was there.
oh, it was kind of like one of those things that whatever you put into it, you get out. I
Yeah,
feel like that school, yeah.
yeah.
So
So both of you kind of through your apprenticeships, that's where you really, got your kick into
for
wanting
sure.
to dive into like competing and going to the next level, as far as like, bettering yourselves or anything
mhm,
Yeah,
like
for
that, huh?
sure.
mhm,
So it really is kind of an important thing for like a young person, or somebody first getting started out, like shoeing, doing an apprenticeship probably is, the right way to go as
I
far
think
as
so.
like even, becoming a better farrier or
Yeah,
just fulfilling a career.
Well,
yeah,
and even like you guys said, like you learn from other people's mistakes more so, like you don't have to
Yeah.
make all
Don't
those.
have to be made twice
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mistakes.
I think it's cool though that both of you guys didn't let distance establish too much what like your education. Neither one
yeah.
of you guys stayed at home.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I've been trying to get out of that town since I could drive. So.
Oh, really? You just
Yeah.
like I grew up the same way, man. I have no want to go back to my hometown.
No,
I hate that place.
I just go back and see my family, but I don't got any other reason to visit.
Were you the kind of the same way, Mckenzie, or like?
No, not at all. I honestly like looking back, I have no idea how the heck I was brave enough to like move this far away from
Leave
everybody I
Canada.
knew. Yeah. So I
Wow,
don't
yeah.
know. It frightens me
Was
now,
it
like that big move, but
was it already that like was it that scary just going to horseshoeing school, or what? Like you knew you were gonna come back home?
Yeah, I knew I was coming back home. It was like a 6-week thing, and I was just like pumped to, yeah, young and dumb, ready to go.
Uh-oh.
You were just excited. That's funny though, because like, what a big change of like going to because you go to college for 4 years,
Yeah,
a 4-year education
yeah. I wrote
to
my
a
last exam.
6 week.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it's
That's a
crazy.
big difference.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait till you guys get Andrew on here.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he's done a
He's
bunch of schooling, hasn't
He's
he?
got a master's degree.
Jeez, that's the only thing talking to Andrew. Sometimes I just I don't know if I'm smart enough to talk to Andrew.
Yeah.
He's really good at talking down, not talking down, but he's good at talking on my level. He
Yeah.
doesn't talk above me, but it's
It's a good thing he's from
it's
Alabama.
there. Oh man. So but it had that's a big. How long did it take for you to get home right now, Mckenzie? Back to where you came
Driving?
from?
It's 2 days.
It's 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 26-hour drive from
Yeah.
here.
We made
Yeah.
that drive.
Quick,
That's a
easy.
distance.
It's a big drive.
We made that drive in 18
Yeah, I've made it so many times. It's not
with
even.
the trailer full of her stuff.
Yeah, when I officially
Really?
moved.
So that was already after you've done your apprenticeship for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I just came down here with a little bit of cash and the bed of my truck filled with stuff. I was just gonna stay for a year apprenticeship and then go back home. And
Did Mark have a place where you were able to bunk at his place, or did you have to get an
yeah,
apartment?
no, well, I did because I didn't really know I didn't know anything when I was coming down here. This is why I don't understand why I did it, but I rented a place because there's a couple guys from my class that were also doing apprenticeships in the area, so we rented a house, and it was in
Okay.
Marietta, which is like an hour from Mark's house, but I didn't know where it was, so I lived there and made that drive back and forth for a while until
Hour drive one way each.
one way.
Each
Yep. Yeah. And
And
then
then working
Yeah.
with Mark was a 5 days a week type gig.
yeah. At first, it was just whenever he needed me, and there was a couple other guys in Ardmore that I'd work for, and then after I'd I guess it was kind of like a tryout for a month or two, and he's like, okay, I think I'll take you on as a full-time apprentice.
30-day trial period.
So yeah, and so then that was when he was like, but you need to move closer because we're going to be in the shop and that kind of thing. So
He does
and he
have
does
an
have an
apartment
apartment.
in his shop.
Yeah. I was spoiled though. I got
Oh,
to
nice.
stay in the house. I got my own room. So
You
but-
didn't have to sleep in a bunker out
yeah,
in the shop.
yeah. I got the real heat and air, so that was good.
Does it
Yeah.
get cold there where you guys are?
It can.
Yeah. It'll get cold in January,
Yeah.
February.
Not for very long.
Yeah.
And then it gets super hot too.
Oh,
huh?
wicked hot.
Oh, it was so hot this summer. It was brutal.
How hot?
How many?
It was a month and a
About-
half, I want to say, of over 100.
Yeah, there was I think there's
No.
2 stretches of over 10 days in a row of 100 plus.
Yeah.
So you just shoot no horses during that time.
You just-
Yeah. No, you just sweat
I
a
doubt
lot.
I
You
doubt that's
bake.
happening.
Yeah. You just get down to fighting weight.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you usually
Golly.
start the day about 8 pounds heavier than when you end the day.
How so here when it gets out the feet are so hard.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it's brutal summer.
That's how
Yeah.
it is for you too. It's just
Yeah.
oh,
Nip
that's
and
not
burn.
fun.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, there's no point in using your rasp. You're just gonna wreck it in a
Smoke
couple
it
days.
one day.
What about
burn
your
'em down.
knife?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you
You
can
don't
just
use
throw
a
your knife
adult
out
knife?
too. Yeah.
half round squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you have to have them.
You have to have them.
Yeah. No joke.
Oh man.
I've strung I don't know how many pairs of nippers this
Yeah,
summer.
it's- yeah.
Wait, you've
Yeah.
gonna through multiple pairs of nippers this summer?
Just
Spring 'em.
springing them
You
because
spring
the
the
feet are
reins on
so
'em.
hard.
Holy shit!
And then it'll just, the feet just snap. It's
Yeah,
awful.
they just, if they got any length on them and you nip, it just explodes. It just pop.
Really?
It's been dry.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
You guys should go to
And
Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's a whole new world,
Riley and I,
man.
we were just talking about this before we got on with you. We were like, yeah, the feet have been pretty dang dry and hard and shit like this, but nothing like what you guys are describing.
It was pretty dry all summer. Like
Feet look good though.
the cracks in our
They do.
yard, you like
Would swallow up our kids.
I don't know
Middle-
about you, Riley.
middle of the
but my
day,
feet
and you
aren't
gotta have a
exploding when I'm nipping.
flashlight to see down the bottom of those cracks, and they're like inches wide, 2 inches wide. Like they're huge,
In the
and they're
sole.
everywhere. That's our whole yard. It's just
in the
cracks.
Because it's just that's wild to think. You got to
like
watch
a
your
drought.
baby outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd get swallowed up in them.
Yeah, we had some kittens on our porch, and one of them went missing, and I was like, oh boy. So I'm out there with the flashlight, looking at all these cracks.
Oh man,
He was
that's
in
crazy.
he was in a tree, I think. So.
Imagine if you would have been crawling around looking in these cracks and you would have seen like the clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the egg clown.
The egg clown.
Man, I've been shoeing horses now for like almost 13 years, and I'm on my second pair of nippers, and I just got them like
Same.
2 years ago.
Oh.
Same.
We have like a drawer full of nippers.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Wore them out for
Well,
rebuild.
We probably have
I still
15 pair of nippers between the two of us.
Oh
No
my
way.
God.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
You guys are like one of G's probably like favorite customers. Just like,
Yeah, all kinds.
Well, I'm a Lopez.
Like,
so.
yeah. Hey, it's like GEs have been good for a long time. It's like I don't know anybody there or not, so like nobody listens to this thing probably anyway. But it's like you guys got to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I hate to say it, call you out here, but it's like
Yeah.
fix
Figure it
it or
out.
people go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, you just got, and that's coming toolmaker to toolmaker here.
Yeah.
You can't just keep
How
screwing
about
up.
save it? Let's
Yeah.
throw them
Just
under there too.
all
Yeah.
the rafts, dude. They don't.
They're done. I just
Oh.
saw a
Cool.
thing it's like Save Edge is going out of business. They're going
Really?
to be a
What?
yeah, they're done making rasps.
Golly.
Well,
Well, they
sucks.
suck at it lately, so.
Yeah, it's like
That's my go-to rasp is the Save Edge.
oh, how? Like it's because our feet are so soft. It's like you don't even notice they're so dull or crooked.
Probably, but yeah, I just use the shit out of them. Really.
If you get a good one, they're good. But
I
one in a
don't think I've ever
million.
had one. Then.
I
Really?
guess the reason why I like them is they're the least likely to clog. So I think that's kind of
Yeah,
why I stick
that
with
is
them.
true.
Clogging is like a big peeve of mine. I hate it.
No, you just
That
gotta get in
is
the habit of
that.
the swipe every
Yes.
time.
I do, and that's
Yep.
what I hate having to do that. So
It's just
the least
muscle
amount of
memory
times
now.
I have to do
Every
that.
time I bring it out,
Wear
swipe,
out the
put it up,
knee on
swipe.
the rasp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So you
Come
guys
winter.
both got into competing pretty heavy. Like that's where I met you, Patrick, at a competition at horseshoe in school, but then got to know you better at like WCBs and stuff, and that's where I got to know Mckenzie as well. How far apart were you guys in time frames of starting to compete with at WCBs?
I went to my first one in 2012, I think. Madison, 2012. I did my first one. Did the novice.
I don't know what year I did. I moved here in 15, so probably 16.
Probably 16, yeah.
When did you guys meet?
Or, shortly after I moved here in 15. We met, but Patrick doesn't talk,
Yeah,
so.
15. We met at a.
We had our first conversation like a year later.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We met at a clinic at Nature Farms at Nolan's. I don't remember who the clinician was.
Bob. It was the first one I'd been to.
Bob
Bob
Pethick.
Pethick.
And you guys didn't talk at all that one?
I just smiled at her, I think, a lot.
I tried to because I didn't know anybody, so I was just trying to make friends.
I was with Matt Kaknavage, and I think he had to slap me in the side of the head and tell me to roll my tongue up a few times.
So, like, when did you guys first talk then? Like, you got to just getting to know each other.
Classic the year after, I think,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
16 classic.
Yeah.
Did you
Were you
just
guys
like
both competing there? Or?
No, I was sweeping for Cat 6. I was
I
coaching.
coach?
I went out there to me and Matt Weimer drove back a U-Haul bus truck for the AFA because the convention was going to be in Kansas City. So that's why I was out there.
So why do you have a U-Haul? Just a bunch of drugs or something?
We took all their we drove back all their office equipment.
Okay.
Like the whole AFA office we shoved into a U-Haul truck and drove it to convention.
Oh man. So for some reason I thought you were on, Patrick, you were on a team at Classic too, but it wasn't that year, it was the year after
year
that.
after that. I was on the con team.
That's what it was. The 2016 then I was that's the year I went to Classic, and we had like a little team made up, and we did god awful there and shot that huge
draft horse looked like 24 inches. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like 24 and a half inches on the heel. Like,
and you're still short.
We were all still short. Our shoes looked like spaghetti on the feet because we had no system for like inch and a half. Like, that was awful. They felt so bad for us. They gave us a 10-minute head start.
They did?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was Ben Mangan.
Like, we're gonna give you a happy hat.
Yeah. Who else was judging?
Mark. No, didn't he
No,
judged with Ben, so it wasn't that year.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, it was Darlow, for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted, it was Steve Dixon.
Yeah, that's right. Because he kept doing this crazy trick with his leg.
Yes, and he had a funny shirt on that said Dixon Cider. I forget who the American judge was that year.
No, because it was Ben, Mark, and Mark. Lucy's Mark. No,
from England.
Oh, Lucy. And...
Yeah, I'm totally spacing who the American judge was.
Shoot.
I don't remember.
It's horrible.
Evans.
Mark Evans. That was the year after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a crazy experience. That was like a huge eye opener. So I'm sure that was like a big eye opener for like, was that your both your guys' first Classic to go to as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, Mckenzie, you were probably watching Cat 6 practice a little bit.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah. I did get to see pretty well all their practices.
Like, that had to be pretty wild.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
To, like,
how often would they would they come up to Mark's place and practice?
Like
a couple times, like a month or something like that, or?
No, they didn't. I don't think they practiced that much. They would do a couple practices down at Jake's, and then they went to Ardmore. Would get like at the school there. They'd get horses for them, and they'd do a practice there. And then they practiced at Mark's. And
would you go along with Mark if he would go to that, or you just kind of? Oh, you would.
I usually hung out.
Oh, so that's cool.
Sometimes, if I was practicing for anything, I'd throw my little forge in and then get to have them help me with some of the stuff.
Yeah,
so
do some
it was pretty cool.
And
yeah,
ain't no better couple of judges right there.
No,
just
Gene was always the best. Yeah, about jumping in the fire with me and helping me out.
That's cool.
Yeah,
He's great.
he's so cool. So
We're actually
Yeah, that is a big mix on a team of like
yeah,
every type of personality, I guess.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it
Austin
is.
just always gave me
Gene is
shit.
such a nice
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
we're doing the pod with Jake next week.
Are
So
you
All right,
good?
on.
That'll be
yeah.
fun.
So we'll have to maybe ask him about you coming down to being there with Mark.
Ask him about his kid's motorbike.
Yeah.
His
Seriously.
motorbike.
Yeah.
We will.
What
Oh my god, that's so funny.
what happened? Were you there or something or what?
No,
He was telling us
he
the
was
story.
telling us we were down there.
We can't ruin it. He'll tell
Oh,
it way
it's
better.
so
It's
funny.
hilarious.
Very good.
We'll have
So
to
you
ask
guys
him.
both like you guys met at Classic, and then was it pretty much? I mean, you guys don't live too far. Did you live too far away at that point, or was it just more like started bumping into each other more at contests? I mean, like not spoiler alert, you guys ended up together.
They share the same last name now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We were about 3 hours apart. I
Yeah.
guess he was up by Wichita.
Yeah, I'd moved over to Park City, just on the other side of the state line, just off I-35. So it wasn't too far.
He was flying out of Oklahoma City to go somewhere, and if this isn't a pickup line, I don't know what is. But after that, he just messaged me one night. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Oklahoma later." And that was it. That was it. So
You're
I
like,
was
okay.
Okay, do you want to go get a drink or something?
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Good for you.
yep. So
Real ladies man there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Way to
yeah.
spit it out there.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh,
So
so,
what-
you pretty much had to like lead the way
I
then.
did
it
all the
sounds-
work. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh, the truth comes out.
That is great.
Yeah.
So were you guys then like traveling a little bit more together, like just practicing, or is it pretty like? Were you guys keeping the horseshoeing separate at that time, or was that your guys' like reason to hang out pretty much?
We didn't do a whole lot of horseshoeing right off the bat. He was working all hours of the day, so when I would go up to see him, I would have to jump in the truck until midnight when he was done for the day, and then
Wow.
then maybe the next day we'd go do something fun.
Yeah.
But
You have to throw on the apron.
no, I didn't bring my apron.
Just watch.
Yeah, do PR.
Do PR, yeah. Talk to the customers.
That's great.
So,
Do you guys run your business together now?
no, we have
It's
a
completely
couple
separate.
of stops that we do together, but otherwise pretty well separate.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it still like is the stop you guys go to? Is it still separated like horses? Like you
No.
got your own
No.
horses in that stop,
No.
or you're doing all of them?
No, yeah.
We did go together while she was pregnant,
Yeah.
and that was
Like you would help out.
We just meshed, yeah.
Yeah, we just went-
got all our horses
we just
done.
went and did. We can
Do a lot of horses.
do a lot of
when
horses when we're together.
Yeah. I
We just
bet.
gotta be depending on whose horses we're doing. Like
Somebody's a slave and
someone's the
others
apprentice, someone's the
runs the show.
runs the show.
So do you guys still have kind of a different idea of how to shoe horses? Like your
Yeah.
own styles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Patrick
Really?
doesn't know how to fit hind feet very well.
Oh, I've got,
There it is. There it is.
Here we go.
So what's wrong with Patrick's hind feet, Mckenzie? We want to know.
oh man,
No.
we've definitely
We both kind of changed a little bit.
melted into each other's
A little, but we still have different styles.
different styles a little bit. Like, yeah,
Do you guys like get on each other's nerves? Like if you guys are around each other too much, like if you're working every day together or whatever, and then you got to go home and, be with your husband or your wife for the remainder of the day. Like,
It went
is that
better
too
than
much?
I thought it was going
No, I
to
thought
be
we
honest.
got along really well. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah, just like it just depended on whose horses we were working on. If
Yeah.
her horses, I was just clinching and
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
We were
prepping
pretty
feet
good
and
at
clinching
keeping
and all that. And if it was
our
my
opinion.
horses, I was doing the trimming and
You
fitting and
her horses, you definitely weren't fitting the hind feet.
no, that's for sure. Or trimming,
What
like yeah.
what kind
I
of
get something
horses do you
thrown at
guys
me.
like have out there? What's the primary like horse out there?
Quarter horse.
horses.
Quarter horses.
Yeah.
And so do you guys think your differences on fit sometimes comes from like where the way you guys grew up a little bit?
Yeah.
For
Like
sure.
Mckenzie, did you grow up with more show horses? Or were they pretty like cowboy horses?
Oh, yeah, more show horses, but I think our differences more come from like who we apprenticed
yeah,
with.
who we apprenticed with. How we
Oh,
were taught
from
to
the
fit.
teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, more so than
I'm curious to know, like, what are the big differences, between how you, like, what are the differences, on, what you're saying?
Patrick would his hinds are way more spady than mine, I guess.
Okay.
So,
I've evolved
yeah.
a little bit lately. They're quite
So
round
what
He
now.
was
What would you say about Mckenzie then? Like, what would you say is
Oh,
different?
she just makes front feet on all fours.
That's a bit dramatic.
No, they're just
Boulder toe.
bolder,
Yeah.
bit rounder.
Okay.
But now, like if you were to see my hinds now, they're pretty round.
He's come to the dark side.
I've you
I
just
don't
gotta
see
figure
nothing
it
wrong
out.
with spades.
It's something that I've been like slowly figuring out more and more. I think like within like the past is like, wow, man, the tighter I make that toe, the tighter I got to make these quarters. And
Yeah.
it's like, and it just starts looking rougher and rougher.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, if I just fold this up a little bit,
Yeah.
everything's got a little flow here.
Yeah.
And we shoot quite a few rainers, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
They don't have much quarter at all, huh?
well, you got to
slider
put a
blade.
round shoe on
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So
That's
Like-
super hard. I
Yeah.
don't shoot. I've shot like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
you just fit with your nails instead of the shoe. Like,
It's a crazy concept to me.
yeah, it's nuts.
But
That
what
makes a lot of
slides better, a
sense.
ski or like a shovel?
Yeah.
Spade shovel, right?
Oh, yeah. I totally get
Yeah.
that, but it's just nailing on sliders goes against like everything that we kind of like have been
Yeah.
striving for.
It's not
like,
about fitting when you're putting sliders.
no, like that's the
Functional.
thing that baffles me,
Oh, complete. And it's like I overthink it all way
Yeah.
too
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
much. So like just like you saying like, oh, a ski or a spade, it's like, well, I don't know, like a broad flat wall is gonna build into the dirt more than like if you have a point out there that's like up and high, that'll get you on like where a pointy shoe would probably get you on top of. I don't know. I just think way too much about it. So it's like, and I don't understand it enough. It's like, man, I don't know if this is for me. I'll put the big wide shoes on the front end. How about that? Because that's all toe weights are. Is like you just kind of build a shape,
Well,
a
that's the
good
other
toe
thing I
weight
was just about
shape,
to say.
and
Yeah.
you just punch that thing for the foot, and that's how you nail
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah. Same with the sliding
That's
plates.
pretty hard. So have you guys had to compete against each other, like in the same categories ever? Or I guess you guys have been at
Yeah.
WCBs at the same time then,
Yeah.
while you were dating,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I
and
usually
there was
kick his
never.
ass. Just kidding. No, you know what's aggravating is I'll do all the work in the shop and figure out the shoes, and then he comes up behind me and is like, "How'd you make that?" And so I tell him, and then he makes one that's better, like first try. Oh, thanks.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I guess. Freaking aggravating.
So were you guys even practicing separate then quite a bit?
We practiced together quite a bit because I was coming down here all the time.
Yeah.
So we would just practice at Mark's.
Yeah. Quite a bit.
Didn't really have anywhere else to practice at. So I was hanging out with her. So
So you guys is like hanging out and dating time was practicing in the shop then.
Yeah.
It was glamorous.
Yeah, then we just go get drunk somewhere.
Perfect.
If we didn't
Just
before.
living, just living the shoeing dream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
so
so
good.
funny. And so now life has changed a little bit, like you kind of mentioned it before, of like,
dramatically.
of that, like there was a time where Mckenzie was pregnant there, and
Yeah.
news like it's Patrick's. So
It
it's like,
is a baby Dutton.
yeah. And so, like, what's life like now? Like, right currently,
Oh man,
Chaos mostly.
organized
was
chaos.
it?
Yeah.
Is it different than what you even had planned, like
Oh
during
yeah.
pregnancy?
Yeah. Everybody laughs at me, but like this has changed my life a lot more than I thought it would.
I bet. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's
It's different than a dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just is.
It is. It's like all the time too.
Yeah, he demands your attention all the time.
So yeah, I
Oh,
take him to work
man.
with me a little bit now that it's cooled off. We'll go out and do like half days. And then if I still have more to go do, then once Patrick's home, I'll go to work and we just kind of are flip-flopping schedules.
So did you
Right
guys
now.
have a boy or
Yeah.
a girl?
A boy. Rowan.
Boy. Rowan?
It's
Yeah.
is
Rowan
it
Law.
hard? Because like I know with ours, it's like she's pretty attached to mom, and so like she would kind of rather have mom a lot of times, and
Right.
so like that, like I know like when I try watching her sometimes, like especially when she was younger. How old is Rowan? Like you think you said they're like 6 months?
Yeah,
Is
almost.
that right?
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like especially at that time she would just cry and cry, you know, and it's just like I would try, and it's like so hard to get her like, but then you'd hand her off Chelsea and it's like done right away. Does that happen at all for you, or is he pretty chill?
He's pretty chill.
He's pretty chill.
You
Yeah.
can pretty much hand him to anybody, and he's gonna smile at him. So.
Yeah, I think because I've been taking him to work with me, honestly, like I'll get places and people are just like, "Oh, thanks for the baby," and they'll take him.
Really?
And
Horses? Thanks
yeah,
for the
and
baby.
so then I go to work.
Oh,
So he
nice.
doesn't really know a stranger. Sometimes he'll fight bedtime for you a
Yeah.
little bit, but he just knows Patrick's a pushover.
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah. You just want to hang out. It's your
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
It's
I don't think it's that he likes me more. I think he just knows he can get away with it.
yeah. It's like the days that I get to stay home and she goes all day. It's just the best days because we just hang out. We just
Drink
bought
coffee.
we just bought this place we're at now, and we got 10 acres out here, and we just stroll around the property, and just look at we got 3 donkeys, so we just go around and pet on the donkeys and just kind of hang out outside most of the day. It's pretty
Oh, that's
great. I look
perfect.
forward to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're almost like, you know, you could shoot all the time if you want. I'll do this.
Yeah. It is kind of a struggle now because like we're used to just working all the time, and now that we got a little guy, that's like, man, I really want to find time to be home.
Yeah.
More.
Not be the guy that's always gone.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it's tricky.
It's super tricky. So like, do you have a plan for it? Or are you just still like it's still pretty new right now, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like
it's kind of sorted
do-
itself out a little bit because
kind of. Yeah.
he does demand a lot of time, and I've been willing to give up some business to be home. So
Yeah, I was surprised to say that
it's
you stay
not
home. You know,
normally that
do you
would give
stay
me
home
like
like once a week?
almost
Yeah.
once every other week at least.
Yeah.
But normally
Yeah.
having that like downtime in the schedule would give me some like wicked anxiety, and I'd be frantically
Gotta go
trying to
do
fill it,
something.
but I don't have that with the little fella here. So
Well, that's good. It's
That's
probably like a
good.
breath of fresh air.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not truly empty day
Oh no.
at all.
No.
No, that's pretty big. So like, so do you ever take them to work too?
Me, no, I couldn't handle doing all that.
Dude, I'm right there with you. Like that's why I'm kind of like I want to know, Mackenzie, is like, what does this look like when you show up with this baby? Like I'm like when you first said it, I was imagining like pack and play worked into the rig somewhere. So it's
Oh, it
like,
will be. Once he's mobile, it will be. But I just pack his stroller and he's got this little chair with toys on it, and I'll just put it on the back of my truck and he'll sit in that, or else I'll put him in the stroller. Or
You also have a unique set of clients.
yeah, most of the clients that I have, like, well, while I was pregnant, we had to slough a few, right? Because Patrick couldn't look after everything while, like, right after he was here. So at first I was up, like, kind of worked up about that, losing all those people, but it's worked out because now, like, I can't get to as many as I thought I'd be back shoeing by now. So the customers that I have left are all like really good ones that will scoop them up and help me out, or else I just save the ones that won't or wouldn't be as cool with it for the days where I go out and just stack up a big day.
Ideally, like those are the kind of people we want to work for in
Yeah.
the end.
Those are the
Oh,
best
regardless,
customers
you know.
anyway.
He is so spoiled. Yeah. Yeah. We're lucky. We're really blessed.
so it sounds like, from hearing like that, having a kid really cleared up a lot of aspects in your guys' stuff of like,
Yeah.
it kind of made the cream rise to the crop in both your guys'
Yeah.
clientele.
Yeah.
Both really, yeah. Like we go to work and it's always fun. Like it's been awesome. Really. All my favorite people are on the books, and
Less stress at work.
yeah.
Got rid of the high demand people. And
Which is what you need to do anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like we actually had to. So
It's a good way to weed them out.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
good
we
excuse.
all need something to like make it happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think
Yeah.
like we're the type to just be like,
Oh,
"Yep,
we
I got a
can-
rock in my shoe, and it's gonna be okay. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep
Yeah.
running."
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like you're like
Yeah.
finally that rock wore itself out of the shoe completely.
Yeah.
It's like it's just gone. So but I like props to you guys of, in my opinion, going the right way with it. You know what I mean? Because you guys could have went the other way and like just putting the kid on the back burner, like some people do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and focusing on the crap
Okay.
clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be an option though, huh? Because like your family's pretty far away.
Both are.
It
Yeah.
sounds-
Yeah. My family's 4 hours away.
Yeah.
Her family's in a
Yours is
different country.
So,
Yeah, that's kind of a question I had as far as like for you, Mackenzie, what was that like being a non-US citizen, coming to school here in the United States, and then how are you able to like go about working for Mark for 6 years? And I'm not really like, oh.
It just works out.
It just worked out.
So sometimes those things are just easier to figure out once you get here,
Okay.
is what I had. Yeah, someone told me that because I was trying to sort it out before I came. And I had a student visa when I come for school, but it was only for the 6 weeks. And then, so I got another one when I came down just to cross the border in good standing. And then I just let it run out. And eventually I got a lawyer because the immigration thing it's a nightmare. And all they're really looking for is the signature that you paid somebody a lot of money to try and stay here.
Is it expensive to get like a visa thing?
Yeah,
Work visa?
it is. I don't know. It was
the lawyer fees and
yeah. It's mostly the lawyer fees. Like I think it
Wow,
was
I
like
didn't know that.
yeah. I mean, I thought it was expensive. It was like $5,000 for 5 years.
That's
Just
pretty
for
good.
yeah.
So you gotta
Yeah.
pay the U.S. government to come
Yeah.
work for the U.S. government to then pay their
Well,
taxes.
Yeah. And we kind of worked the system a little bit. Like the lawyer said when I got my green card, he said you probably wouldn't have been able to get another visa like I had. I had a sporting visa, and so I was like a paid athlete with the competition thing. So I had to
Okay.
compete kind of, yeah.
Smart.
So, yeah. And because it was like the world championship blacksmiths and like all these big
Sounded
names,
cool.
It
like,
just kind of worked out. Yeah.
It's a
Even
big
though I
deal.
was in
It's
the
a big
novice at
deal.
the time, yeah, they're like, oh, she won this class and she deserves to be here. So yeah,
That's sick.
yeah,
That's cool. It worked
You're
out.
not the only person that I've heard of that familiar story
Yeah.
of like how they got a U.S. citizenship or to be here is
Yeah.
through competitions or clinicians or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. That's how all the
So,
horse show people do it too, like the trainers and stuff. So it was.
So you had your
yeah.
green card before you married Patrick?
No, I had just that visa and it ran out the year we got married.
that's
So-
why you're like, man, here's this Patrick guy. He's not talking, but he'll get the citizenship.
Yeah. And so I just got my green card this year,
yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, earlier this year.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was pregnant. That's pretty
Like,
much
we gotta
why
make this happen, or otherwise I'm going back to Canada.
Yeah.
And was that something you didn't want? Like you were like, did you like, was that other talk for like between you guys of moving to Canada instead of where you are now? Or did you want to be down the lower 48?
Was it always Oklahoma?
No.
It was on the table
For a
pre-COVID.
while. Yeah.
Going.
Oh,
back,
you were
Moving back to Alberta.
Alberta. Then,
you were considering it too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna get married, so.
Yeah.
Well, and it sounded like already like Patrick, you didn't really give a crap about your hometown. You know, you're like me, and so like, and
I could have went
Mckenzie liked
anywhere
her
really.
home.
So.
Yeah, Mckenzie liked her hometown, so it's like.
Yeah. But.
Yeah. Then,
is that something then you guys even think about now that since like COVID's over, or
I don't know if you paid any attention to Canadian politics, but.
It's a hot mess up there.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So maybe like Montana, northern Montana one day.
Oh, a little bit closer or something.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know where Whitefish, Montana is.
Oh,
but it's like 3 hours from my parents' place, so it's close.
So that's pretty close to like us, really, or me.
Yeah, it's really not far.
Yeah. Yeah, northern Montana would be.
That might happen one day.
Yeah.
Staying on the side of the border, I think.
Cool area.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful up there.
Shit, we'd almost be neighbors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not that close. It's not that close at all, dude.
It would cut our distance in half.
7 hours.
Yeah, it would take just as long to get there, though, hey? Around the mountain.
Oh, man.
So, Patrick,
that's great.
What year was the first year you made the American Farriers team?
19.
2019?
Yep.
What was that like being called up there on the stage for the first time?
That was pretty cool. It was a complete surprise to me. I was pretty shocked that I made it that far.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a cool feeling. But the rest of that year, it was the setup they have now. Oh, it was a beatdown, dude. It was. I was not prepared. The way they were doing it, like to prepare for convention, doesn't do anything to prepare you for Stoneleigh at all. It's so different.
What do you mean?
And that's even like you had seen Stoneleigh before.
Yeah, I'd been there, but I didn't like. That was the first time. That was the second time I've been to England.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's so different than the way I've ever shot horses. And what they were doing over there. It was like they were speaking Greek. Like I was like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Yeah. So it was a tough transition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What was so hard about it?
What was
just
hard
the
about
style
it?
of shoeing that they do over there is just foreign to me. They like to put symmetrical shoes on with loads of length, like to the back of the frog, and it's like I've never liked to shoot little
quarter horses.
Quarter horses, like I don't even have twos on my truck.
And here you are having to do that.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, that first year I learned it was awesome in the respect that I learned an insane amount of stuff. It was like learning through, like trying to drink through a fire hose, like
trying to take it all in.
Yeah,
absorb
but
it.
leading up until we went to Stoneleigh, like I couldn't do anything right. It was a total beatdown every practice. But I made the conscious decision because I knew that it was going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other three dudes that were on that team have been on that team a couple times at least and been over there, and then I'm just this
The
newbie
new guy.
that doesn't have a clue really. So I knew it was going to be a beatdown. So I made the conscious decision to like not get my feelings hurt, not get mad, not get upset. 'Cause I know I'm just going to get ripped apart constantly.
Mm.
And I think that was a good mentality to go in with. But yeah, it was a big learning curve leading up to going to England.
How much time was it from the time that you got announced to be on the team? How many months until you guys went to Stoneleigh? Like, how much practice went into that? Like, up to that point, was it like 5 months, 3 months,
It was like
a year? 5 months.
March to September. We went to Stoneleigh in September.
So not a lot of practices probably even before then.
At least every month.
At least once a month, sometimes twice.
Yeah,
But
where
they
you guys
were
would all
like
get together.
intense practices where we did like 9 horses in a
Really?
weekend. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Wow.
How did your guys' practices look? Like, how were you guys critiquing each other on it? Like, how were you guys changing the systems a lot or just doing the same thing over and over? Like, how would you guys go about your day of practice?
It started out just shoemaking to see where everybody was at with the shoes. Just making that lots of 3/8 by 1, that big section, trying to make it like that style of shoes, the big toes and strong heels, and which was
And your
not that.
teammates, they were Bodie and I can't remember who the other.
Bodie and Travis Smith and Daniel Jones.
That's right.
And Tyson. Tyson was the alternate, but he ended up going to England with us because Daniel couldn't go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So with you being the new guy, did those three basically they already had their position where they knew they were going to be, and then they just threw you in like, this is where you're going, Patrick. You better
Pretty
get,
much. Yeah, I just did what I was told.
yeah.
That's a rough one to step into though, because usually like a team kind of caters up to each person a little bit, of like, like what people's strengths and weaknesses are. But
Yeah. Yeah, well, Bodie and Travis had been on the team for like 3 years together already, so they were pretty sorted out. And Daniel had been on the team twice, I think, before then.
Yeah.
And he's pretty strong wherever you put him. And they put me on the right front, which is easily my weakest foot. But no one else wanted to do it, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna bitch about anything. Like,
yeah, just happy to be along for the ride, huh?
Yeah.
So were you
That's
still
crazy.
like managing the big book of horses at that time?
No, that
you were
was
doing?
probably most part of the reason why I made it to the team. That was kind of my transition down here from Kansas. So I
So
had
you're able to get in the shop more.
quite a bit of free time. Yeah. I practiced pretty hard for a convention.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then that was the first year where they did the team selection where they picked 2 people to stay on it or something like that, or how
Yeah.
did that?
The 2 new guys were going to be on it for 2 years. So that was me and Daniel.
Okay. So was the second year a bit easier for you or more
Yeah,
fun?
because then it was COVID and there wasn't anything going on anyway. So we didn't do
Oh,
it.
that's right. That's right.
We went to the WCB deals, but that was pretty much all there was to do anyway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a bummer,
Yeah.
Do you think you'll try and go back to do the team again, like the AFT or WCB?
Yeah, maybe one day. It would be cool to get one of those top 10 jackets one day. That would be neat.
Yeah.
Because when I got on the team, I went from the 2s straight to the 4s.
WCB.
Oh, because
WCBs.
you had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, like, I'm on a team with this Troy Woods right now,
Yeah.
and Troy's a Cat 1,
Yeah.
and he's gonna make the team.
How
This is the
crazy is that?
WCB team,
Only
and
been
so I
shoeing
was
horses
telling him,
3 years.
yeah, so I was telling him the other day, I was like, "You realize now you're gonna be a Cat 4, right?"
Yeah,
And
or
he's like,
straight to the
"No,
fours.
yeah." He's like, "I get to be a 2." I'm like,
No.
"No, you don't get to be a
No.
2." I was like, "That's not
You
how this works, dude."
sandbagger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, you're in it now. You better
Yeah.
learn how to run your fire."
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's pretty cool though. Pretty cool that he's
Yeah.
able to do that.
That is
Yeah,
really
it's pretty
cool.
At
crazy.
his
That's pretty cool.
Oh,
where
it's
he's at.
wild.
Do you
So
see
do you guys
yourself?
you guys' plan now is just to ride see where the baby life takes you, pretty much, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's hard to plan it.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
there's really no
Yeah.
point in putting a lot of effort into
All the
planning
plans we've made have changed, so
Yeah.
Well, you'll have a free apprentice for the next 18 years.
that's right.
that. Yeah.
Oh man, I keep on going back. There's like, I think it could go the either way. It's like the kid's either gonna like you or they're gonna hate horseshoeing.
Yeah.
They want nothing.
I bet you he's sick of
Yeah.
it by the time.
Either one's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as he
Well,
doesn't want to
Mckenzie,
ride horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Hear
we're
that.
not owning any.
He's gonna have to
Oh,
go
man.
somewhere else for that.
Mhm.
My little girl loves horses.
Oh man.
Like she is like horse crazy pretty
Oh
much already.
no.
And it is. I'm just like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is
I'm so
this is
sorry.
not good.
I'll
'Cause
make you a
I even
rocking
like,
horse.
yeah, I
Yeah.
even try to like, I didn't even marry a horse girl. I just like say like,
That was a big criteria for me, you know, is I don't want a horse girl.
man.
Well,
That's
Mckenzie, do
interesting.
you see yourself trying to like maybe go for the American Farriers team, or do you try seeing like going to the WCB team, or are you
Me, I don't know. I don't see it anytime soon. We tried to
Like
get in
right
the
now
shop
it's
just to make specimens,
Oh my.
and that was painful. I'd get out there and get like one weld, and then he'd
It's
be
hard.
crying, and I'd run back in. So
It's hard to make
yeah.
specimens 15 minutes at a time.
oh,
what do you guys
you guys are gonna go judge a contest together.
Fort Worth.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
wait, you guys are
That's
judging the WCB Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know
Man,
that.
Yeah.
I had known it and I just completely spaced it. So like right there you go.
Yeah.
So what are you guys gonna do with Rowan? Are you taking Rowan with you?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Patrick's mom
My parents
and
are
grandma.
gonna come down.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And there's a lot of like there's a lot of help around the tent.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
Christine
think-
loves babies.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure he'll be well cared
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
He's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
How
tricky.
nervous are you guys to
Oh my
go?
god.
Beyond.
That's a big one.
It's a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah, we're gonna ruin someone's dreams.
Troy Woods
No,
might not
intentionally.
make the team.
Not intentionally.
That is great. Have
Yeah,
you
it's
guys
terrifying.
judged contests before, either one of you?
I've judged a handful.
Yeah.
I've judged 3 or 4.
I judge Patrick's shoeing every day.
Yeah.
Patrick, do
So-
you like judging already?
No. It's
Yeah, this sucks. Dude.
it's worse than competing. Like,
Really?
oh man, you just bleed your
Why?
eyes out staring at these shoes. Why is this one
Yeah.
better than this one? And then you line them all up, start at the end, and then do it again. And then, oh man,
I've never
Gotta
done
have
it
a-
before, so
you gotta have a legitimate
Everybody's
reason
judging
for
you
everything. Yeah,
like
Yeah.
the whole entire time.
yeah. Everybody
Jeez.
wants to know why their 37th place shoe isn't in 36th place.
yeah.
And then to go judge something like the WCB, where you
Yeah.
kind of know the caliber that's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
So
sorry that I
has
didn't
to,
know that you're
like,
judging.
do specimens even more, like how hard it is to like. How many specimens have you guys made of each one so far? Even with this, like, you scrapping them early because like, well, we don't have a lot of time with the baby, so you're like, man, this isn't gonna get there. Like,
Yeah.
We probably made 3 or 4 of everyone.
Yeah. Probably so. Except for your side bone come pretty good.
I made the side bone was the first one I made.
nice.
We made quite a few heart bars though.
Yeah. Yeah, we're set for heart bars on the truck for a while.
That's great.
But
Did you
That's
guys
a hard
already?
one. That's one that kind of like comes around or it doesn't come. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
especially trying to make it a specimen.
Yeah.
And it ended up being one of the early ones that I'd thrown down, and then I picked it back up. So,
It had the best
yeah.
best bar and frog plate in it.
Yeah. Patrick thought it was too big. The frog plate was too big. But can you have a frog plate too big? Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's better than having one too
They all
small.
have
That's
fat
right.
frogs.
Yeah, then making the 2 main shoes, we had to do that like in the middle of the night
After he was in
after
bed.
Rowan was in bed.
Oh God.
So that was fun.
I knocked out the jewelry during the day,
Yeah.
and then we'd.
Yeah, I bumped toes and turned the toes, and then she did the caulks on everything, and then then we had to wait till we were both out there to punch holes and all that. So fuller it. And
That's
That is
pretty
great.
cool.
Yeah, no, that is a good one.
That's cool how Patrick can bump them and turn them, and then Mckenzie kind of like finishes them, and then you guys get together and punch nails and fuller or whatever. Like,
yeah,
Get lost out on them.
yeah, pretty.
Mckenzie made all the. Did Mckenzie make all the Heinz?
No, he made the roadster. Or you did the. I did the jewelry.
You
did the shape.
I did
so.
the wedge. You did the caulk.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
pretty cool
fullered
that
it.
you guys did like each part, like a little part on
Yeah.
some of the shoes. That's sweet.
That's
Yeah,
the way
'cause-
we were gonna get them done.
That's the way it was gonna happen. Yeah.
So
lot
like
of
I had
Heart
reached
bar.
out a little bit before to Wells to ask some questions too about you, Patrick.
Oh,
And one
shoot.
of the questions is kind of funny too that he brought up is asking Mckenzie about Patrick's knife sharpening skills.
Oh man, that's probably what I got the most shit for being on the team.
Really?
Oh yeah, not being able to get a knife sharp.
You still can't get a loop sharp.
Oh yeah, Bodie
I don't know
gets
how
so
to
mad
sharpen
at
a
me.
loop.
So does Mckenzie got to sharpen your knife sometimes, or?
It would be better if she did.
They'd last longer.
Yeah.
What do you
That's
what do you
funny.
think's like? It took me a long time to learn how to sharpen my knives. Like
Yeah.
it took me quite a while.
I think it depends on the
Is this-
knife too, really.
Yeah, I did. I got it sorted out with Sawyer being on the team and going down to his shop with his dad.
Yeah.
He sorted me out on sharpening knives.
What do you
Yeah.
think it was? Like, what was the biggest takeaway?
You just dump it off.
Yeah, just how a knife edge really works and all that. Like, he had some tricks, and they're pretty sharp now.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. It's like it kills me every time you see farriers on Facebook or something, and they're like recommending a chainsaw file or like some type of diamond hone or something. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'd hate to see your knife work.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be the only way I know how to do it. Loop is chainsaw. I don't know how to sharpen a loop knife.
What's the Dremel?
I don't.
Dremel on the inside. Or just like a
that
little
what-
hand file.
Or
One of those little cone hand files.
Okay.
Do you use a loop knife a lot?
I do.
Yeah, in daily work, yeah.
Do you? That's always been like they're convenient as can be. Like I love that part about them, but I've never been able to get them.
You gotta sharpen them from
Really
like the
sharp.
inside,
Yeah.
not the
Oh,
outside.
that's probably where I'm. Yeah, that's where I'm.
It's
screwing
tricky
up. So
because
you
it messes
want.
with your eyeball because they're
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really hard. It's like so you want the outside flat then
Yep.
almost.
yeah. And
Oh,
put
no.
like
That would
a
make more.
smooth slope on the inside and then a super steep bevel for the edge. Put a burr on it and just knock the burr off and buff it.
Okay, that'd make a lot more sense.
They don't stay
That'd
sharp
make a lot more
for a
sense.
super long time, but
Yeah.
Obviously not over there, especially.
No,
No.
you don't use them right now. You use your half rounds.
I
Close to-
I also still own my first hoof knife from horseshoeing
Oh
school.
shit! Or
Dang.
was it a Frost?
That is no, it's like weird. Like that was what I went there with. I went there with some Frost, and they were horrible. And then we went to this Amish supply house, and I got those Frost knives just from like this other team roper guy that gave me
Yeah.
some of like his worn out knives to go to school with. But then, like first day of school, Chris was like, "This isn't gonna work. You got to get yourself a real knife."
And look at who
And
makes
we
his
went.
knives now. Frost does.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty funny. That's ironic, right there. We went to the supply house, and I bought a Prairie Forge, so Sawyer
Oh, yeah.
Spalding's,
Glenn's
a Glen
Glenn.
Pointer,
Yeah.
Okay.
or not Glen Pointer,
Good
Glen
spread.
Spalding. Yeah, that's Glen Pointer, a completely different guy. Same state, but yeah, that was one of my very first knives.
Little guys
Was right there.
Uh-oh.
Oh man,
That's,
I guess now you can talk all the crap you want on
Yeah.
horseshoeing now.
yeah. Talk about her
Yeah.
fits. Well, man, I don't want to take you guys too much time anymore. It's probably getting pretty late there also as well. I think you guys are like 2 hours ahead of us
Yeah.
anyways. Hate to bomb out of here without Mckenzie, but parenthood calls.
Does.
It's
little
kind
guy
of what it is.
is on his own schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Man.
that I didn't know that you are judging the contest. Like, I didn't pay attention to any of that, so that's pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when Craig called and asked if we want to do it, and we're like, "Are you sure?"
Do what? So is like the list already like predetermined, or
No,
so you guys don't really know what the shoe list is yet?
it's out already.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
it is?
made it.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
out
dude.
there.
Oh.
You
My
not get
bad.
you not get the flyers?
Yeah, what the heck, guy?
No, I haven't renewed my membership since
Oh my
COVID.
gosh.
So yeah. That's probably why.
Yeah. Hey.
So my bad.
Yeah, it's out there. I
No.
think we should have made it some more difficult. Not that they're easy, but there's a lot. It's just lots of heavy forging.
Yeah.
But I
I
feel
think
like
that's gonna-
maybe we
I
should
think
have
that's gonna
put
be good.
like a watchmaking shoe in there, so it wouldn't judging would be easier.
Watchmaking shoe.
I think do you guys have some things in your head already that you're going to be looking for, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we have things that we both like and things that we dislike.
What are some of those things?
We both dislike.
Like I don't even know.
Fine
I don't
nails.
know if this will come out before Fort Worth. It might not. So this
When
might
is
be like
Fort
worth
Worth?
insight for
Still got 2
somebody
months
or
almost. So.
We like
Oh, yeah,
draft
so then-
horse shoes punched inside of center.
Yeah,
That's what you guys like?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So,
What's a
so
dislike?
fine nails on the
fine
draft
nails
shoes.
are no good
No good.
on any shoe, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you kind of like even favoring like a little coarser even on
Yeah.
the lateral side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll drive some course nails. I
You
ain't
will.
scared.
It's what the whole team looks at me weird every time I drive I punch my shoes. They're like, that's pretty coarse. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's in there.
This is going up, going up.
Well, that's where I'm aiming, man. I'm not very good at nailing already. I need all the help I can get.
Exactly. Pitch the crap out of it.
So what was
What
your
about
thought
shoeing
process?
day? Is there things that you're looking for?
We probably got to talk about that a little bit,
Yeah,
Good time right now.
right?
Yeah.
we in
This is
our
where we'll
everyday
get the
shoeing.
title.
In our everyday shoeing, we don't really put like big heels on. If anything, our heels are kind of sweetened up on the shoes we put on every day,
Yep.
unless there's an obvious need for it. But we don't really like or do that every day shoeing, having a big monster lateral heel and a small run up medial one. They're both pretty similar, but
And are they both pretty similar, like across from each other? Do you guys fit pretty
I
like?
do.
she does more than me. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to see anyway. It's nice to when you pick it up, a square shoe, like it's nice to look at.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It depends though, because I think sometimes doesn't it depend on what the horses are going to be going and doing afterwards too, as to what the fit's going to be. But
Yeah.
Probably kind of pertains to like your everyday work on the type of horses you guys are shoeing as well. So
yeah,
if you're shooting a lot of quarter horses, you're not really hanging much out there,
no,
kind of like what
Yeah.
you were explaining with Stoneley going over there.
Yeah.
I fit usually to the widest point of the frog, but
Do you? So you like you like to see him like that's always hard for me. Like I got a hard time fitting up like those long slopey heels. You know what I mean? That like
mhm.
we're like if you fit to the widest part of the frog type deal, it's like you got some steel like a little bit there.
Yeah.
Like but if you don't, so it's like but you would rather see that sometimes, huh?
That's how I do it. Yeah. I don't know. However, Mark would always say is like an inch behind the tip of the frog, right? That's your center of articulation. So you want the distance from that to the toe to match the distance to the back of the foot. And that usually
Yep.
comes out to the back of the frog. So if you've, like, I think
First I've
usually
heard
if
that.
you've trimmed appropriately, right?
Trimmed well.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you guys will probably be pretty big on that, like subconsciously, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit. In the
Yeah, probably
That's
even
what
knowing it.
our eye will probably just draw
I'd
to.
probably
Yeah.
shoot a little shorter than that every day. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So
same here.
if
I
there's
hate
a
nailing
question
back on.
Question arise, who gets the final say, Patrick or Mckenzie?
Ooh,
Yeeks.
depends if it's a hind or not.
Good answer. That just decided it.
Yeah.
What was your guys' thought process on deciding what shoes to pick for the contest?
Something that you'd want to go to is what I
Yeah.
thought. Like
We
shoes
just
that are
wanted
fun to
make
build.
like classic,
Yeah,
heavy
thumpers.
forging shoes.
Well, since I don't know what the list is, what's the two-man class?
Front draft and a double dauber.
Hind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then what's the individual?
There's a hind straight bar, heart bar, and a side bone. 3/8 by 1.
Okay. What's your shoeing specimen?
Roadster.
Roadster.
A wee
That's
little
why Troy was
roadster.
making roadsters.
Yeah.
That is a very like a shoeless that like when I was first going to WCB, that's what it would I think it was like the very first WCB I went to. It was pretty close to that
Pretty
same.
close, yeah. Well, if you go look at the shoe list in England, there's nothing crazy in there. They're all heavy forging shoes and like just nothing out of left field.
Yeah.
Close to
Everybody
the
can make
basics.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what you consider like user-friendly, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Well, it's also kind of hard at the WCB because you have to come up with one shoeless that a Cat 1 can make
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and a Cat
And
4
a cat
can make.
4.
It's like the
That's gonna
one
be rough.
did you go to Harriman, Utah when
Yeah.
Robbie Medeiros was
Yeah.
when we had to do that toe dragger shoe?
Yeah.
Like
And the
how
snow,
did you know?
the California snowshoe or something.
I did like
Yeah.
making that one, but that fucking toe dragger shoe, like
And that
was fucking gnarly.
wasn't there a bar shoe on a half 3/4
Yes.
with those deep seated and like rolled?
Yes.
Did you have
Yeah,
to, you had to flip
the whole
inside
list.
out?
The
Mhm.
whole list
Oh,
was
it's tricky.
super weird.
Yeah, that was a
super
tough one to
intricate
learn.
stuff. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that snow cap shoe wasn't made from an easy section either, I don't think. Like
I don't
it was
remember.
3/8 by 1.
you had to bump it horizontally.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like knife edge
like-
up, and then put it in a little block, and
Yeah.
then you had
Yeah.
to put little cuts in it every
Mhm.
like 1/8 inch.
Oh yeah, and his were like perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they crossed with each other and stuff. They were really nice.
Yeah.
That was a rough one.
Yeah.
That was when I was in the good graces of Jim, and he sent me out a fuller or whatever to make those cuts like
Oh, yeah.
spaced out
Nice.
perfectly, and that made that class pretty nice.
Had double cutters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
it lined out. Yeah, I still have that set hammer too that Poor made me. That's like so you could go through the block and you could flip it up normal ways and run it out in the straight.
Yeah.
Like that was a tricky shoe.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
tricky.
That
Well, man.
competition was a beatdown too. It was hot. Ooh.
So hot.
Utah sucked every time.
Yeah.
Like, it was always hot. Like every
So hot.
every time I went there, never enjoyable.
Yeah, it was the year before, right? Were you there the year before when we had to do the tow bars on there
Yeah,
in
and
the
no one
draft
could get
class?
him. No one could get him on there.
Yeah.
Like it was like they were falling off. I think they fell off even in the demo. Like the clinician gave. Like he didn't get them on there. Like, and that was like the one time it was like everybody was like using the same bottle of Iron Mountain. They're like, I think this one has too much moisture in it. Here, this guy's bottle's sticking. Use his
Nice.
bottle.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Do they still do that at the WCB where the first day or the night before or whatever where you guys will do like build some shoes or something? No.
No, it's
Well,
match play.
they're straight into match play now.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, the last one of those that happened was, I'm pretty sure, Gene Leisure. It was doing the demo, and like Gene went to go weld up a bar shoe, and Poor was standing above him at the trailer, and Poor's like, "Well, you flipped it the wrong way. It'll never weld. That
And
sucks.
then
It'll
it
never
didn't.
weld." It never welded.
That was
We
Vegas.
tried.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
it never welded. It was like
That's
it
right.
was so. And Craig's like, "We're never doing this again. This is shit." He's like, "This is over." And it was.
Holy
It was
shit.
over then.
Oh,
Yeah, but it never
Oh,
well. He
man.
tried so hard to get it to well.
he had everybody worried about it then.
Yeah, it was like it was that
That little
Oh, that
Hackney
Trotter.
toe
yeah.
out of 3/4 round.
Yeah.
That was a wild shoe.
I had to make a shoe similar when we went to Stoneleigh in 19.
Oh, it was awful.
Oh,
A
really?
lot of those ones ended up in our back pasture.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh
of them.
man, I had some fits.
Oh, like you're getting mad and chucking them.
Throwing them. Yeah. Those
What
were
was the
throwing
shoe?
horseshoes.
It was a Hackney bar shoe that Jake made. Jake was the judge, one of the judges that year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just this big kind of square toe, big wide toe, and then you had to split the end of the section like horizontally because it had caulks, and then you had to weld
my
it in the
gosh.
middle, the little. Oh,
Yeah.
it was awful.
Yeah. That is a rough shoe to make.
I made so many of those shoes. I'm never.
Do you
gonna
have
make
some
another one.
pictures of them?
Yeah, on my phone, but I'll send them to you. But
Yeah, send me them because then I'll put them up here on the video so people can check it out.
oh,
Yeah,
man,
that is
Are we on the video?
Yeah, we can see you. This all...
Yeah.
This is live. This is live.
Well, I thought
Yeah,
we were just
so-
doing like an audio thing.
At least you found that out at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're running like the YouTube channel, Forge and Brains podcast. So this video where we're four of us chatting here, this will go up
Nice.
there, and then on Spotify as well. Like the video will be up on there as well. So yeah,
All right.
It's a live deal.
I'd have combed my hair.
yeah, I had that shoe. And then the other shoe I had in the shoe in was an unwelded bar shoe.
what?
Oh, where it met up.
It just met
Yeah.
up in the middle,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
trickier than you think.
Yeah, I don't even know what that looks like. I haven't seen one.
It just looks like a bar shoe, but it's not welded in the middle.
Why?
It looks like imagine
know.
like a straight bar that somebody just went and cut it on a bandsaw.
Yeah.
Just right at the middle of the
Just
weld.
right up the middle of the titty nipple.
I get why. But
So
why?
flexy.
I don't know
But why?
Yeah, you know,
Flexy,
like.
flexy.
But what would be the difference between that and just an open-heeled shoe?
You didn't have flux.
Flotation.
I don't know. I mean,
man.
yeah, like that's a trip.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Somebody will have an
no
answer
weld,
for
no
us.
weld and
Just a-
flux that day,
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
You
right.
just-
Forging exercise.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys doing this podcast with us.
Yeah.
It's been fun to catch
We
up.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you
taking
guys.
time away from your kid. Well, I guess you don't take it away
Yeah.
from your kid,
Yeah,
but
he's snoozing.
even more important, we took away from your guys' evening time when the kid's asleep. That's a pretty important time in the day in my household. So
Yeah.
it's like the one time you're like, all right, we gotta regather before this thing wakes up tomorrow. Like we gotta reassess here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you guys.
And
Good luck in
Man.
Fort Worth.
good,
Oh,
yeah.
man. We'll be bleeding our eyes out staring at shoes.
You got 4
Yeah,
days
there's a
of it.
reason you got asked, so remember that.
Yeah.
that you guys, people look up to you, you'll do good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks.
That's cool. You guys did good.
All right.
Will you guys be there?
What's that?
I will not be there.
No.
No, I won't be there either. Same thing as you guys. Competing has slowed way down since the
Yeah,
child.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So I do the team event deal still, but like that was just like a fun way to compete again and stay in it a little bit. And
Yeah,
the rest of the team made it easy on me to enter. So
Yeah.
that's good. Good.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what my deal is as far as not going, but
Gavin's just
You have no
screwing off.
excuses.
just lack the motivation department as far as doing that at the moment. But
Yeah.
I imagine there'll be a time where I try to get back into it and do it.
Yeah. Cool.
Sure. Awesome, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
you.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye.
See you guys.